someone just to show up and making great success.
Today, I could put in specifically what type of plumbing service I want.
I've got a lot of rivals, a lot of predators around me.
If I wanted to give you my phone number, I would have picked up the phone and called you.
Why these people making me bad reviews?
If you're the owner, make sure they know you're the owner. Make that customer feel special.
I would never work for someone. I would love to do my own business. Hello guys, my name is Adam and today I'm in our Few Service podcast studio and I have very wonderful, amazing guest today. I wish to have more guests like that. So Kelly, little bit tell us who are you and why you are here.
Sure.
How did you appear in front of me?
There you go. Well, thank you, first of all, for being one of our valued partners, one of our top partners working with the agency partnership at Yelp. I'm a vice president there, and I've been with Yelp for a little over 5 years, and I've been in the digital industry for over 30 years.
The first question.
Yes.
Because you mentioned the digital industry.
Yes.
30 years in digital industry. Because I just hit the 30 years ago, I was 10 years old guy who
Thanks for reminding me.
who had no idea about anything about even the computers, I believe. So 30 years ago, there was any digital things happening and or going on?
Yes.
Even the internet? Because
Yes.
my kids asking me, internet didn't exist when you born? I said it was exist because it was invented in like 1970s or something. And they said, okay, so you've been already here for a while. I said, yes. So did you see a lot of changes?
Oh my gosh, yes. I mean, back in those days, you were just trying to get someone to consider having a website, let alone anything else. I mean, it was the infancy stages.
Mm-hmm.
So it's evolved tremendously in the last 3 decades and will continue to do so.
And is this getting more scary or more excited?
I think it's very exciting.
But in these days, I know a lot of contractors who are running the business for 30, 40 years, and they're already like boomers.
Yes.
And they said, I just pay my money on the yellow page, and I was happy like 30, 40 years ago.
Yes.
Right now, it's a lot of uncertainties. So, talking about the Yelp today, do you remember what the year was it's founded?
Yes,
the
21 years ago.
21 years ago. So, it was kind of just was a page.
Yes,
with,
actually, this will be our 22nd year now.
so it's
Goes
just
by
like
quick.
a catalog, right? And I believe there was many contractors who was taking advantage by using Yelp this time already. Because even I know the few guys here in San Jose, they started to do the using only Yelp instead even the yellow pages.
Sure.
And my question about the Yelp, so how many things in the Yelp, this like home services contractors or maybe any of the business owners who are using Yelp, ignoring a lot of things, but they should not ignore these things because I've seen a lot of profiles.
Yes.
Some of them amazing, some of them just terrible, some of them not paying attention about how it looks like, but at the same time, they have great reviews.
Right.
So what is, in your opinion, should be...
What are the common misses?
Yes,
if you will?
absolutely.
Oh, that's a great way to start. I mean, this is the foundation of when you think about being on Yelp. Before you even consider spending a dime in advertising, you want to make sure you have your foundation set up.
Mm-hmm.
So some things I'd say to make sure you want to start with is, number one, do you have photos on there? Do you have video on there? And what I mean by photos, things like keeping the consumer in mind, before and after jobs. Perfect example for me, I had a tankless water heater installed a couple of years ago. I live in a home that was a new build 25 years ago. So the home service industry loves me right now because everything is breaking. So 2 years ago, I needed, I had 2 hot water tanks, 4 grown kids. So we needed to have 2 hot water tanks. It took up a lot of room. It was time, and I had to look for someone that could do a tankless. I wanted more storage. Before and after job right away, I started to see things like that. So you want to think about what is the consumer looking for when they're looking at. So content, photos, Then you got to go to the specialties. What do you specialize in? What are your credentials? Do you have a verified license? Do you offer guarantees? What would make a consumer want to call you? So those are things that you want to think about from there. And then the other thing is review response. Often, you just mentioned, you see it all the time where someone might have great reviews. Are they engaging and responding to both good and bad reviews? Specifically, when you have good reviews, taking the time to thank someone who went out of their way to talk about you and let the world know that you did a great job. And then more importantly, when you get a negative review, you can turn that into a positive based on how you respond. So if you choose to not be defensive, but take it from a place or a position of how do I solve this? How do I make it right? Consumers are going to see that and they'll see that experience and you're building trust. So I'd say those are some real key areas to focus on. And then again, the content, making sure it's up to date. What are your hours? Do you offer emergency services? Do you have weekend opportunities? Whatever is going to set you apart, making sure it's current. Imagine if a consumer reaches out and they think that you're open till 5 and you closed at 3 that day. So making sure you have it up to date.
By your personal opinion. And next, it's going to be your professional opinion.
Yes.
Which is more attractive? Old, dirty, tankless water heater on the page of the professional home services, or maybe happy people faces?
Great call out. Happy people faces are important. That was just a personal example. Picture your teams, picture of your trucks, anything like that will give me confidence that
like
you're
a happy customer faces splashing the hot water.
Yes. Yeah.
Like in the bath.
There you go. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. And then too, when I think about all the things we just talked about, that's one of the many reasons why businesses need someone like you, Adam, to help them, to guide them, to make sure that they have the right content in there, to make sure that their profile is set up correctly. Your strategy will help them be positioned to have a solid foundation before they even consider launching any type of ad campaign on Yelp.
So by the professional perspective, you like saying, I'd rather to see the happy faces of the company and trucks and everything. By the customer, like your personal opinion, what, or even the customer, like a behavior on the Yelp page, what they usually targeting on?
So from the consumer perspective,
Yes.
What are they looking for? Great. So the consumer is, definitely going to look at reviews. I would count on them to look at reviews. They're going to look at the frequency of the reviews. Did you have, for example, 4 reviews last year and nothing since then? That might cause me to think that maybe something's going wrong in the
Maybe
business.
made dead.
Yeah, maybe something happened that wasn't good. So you'll look at the frequency, you will look at the ratings, but you'll also look at what's being said. Again, going back to what are the responses? Do you show up on time? Do you clean up after the job? Those are all different things that will help win that customer. So I think that's really important. And then the other thing, if it's something that it's going to require a quote or a potential estimate, our request a quote feature, consumers are going to look at the timeliness of your response. What's
Exactly.
your speed to lead? And I know you, Ruslan, you have an AI responder for your customers that it gives that personal feel. 3-4 years ago, you could work with an autoresponder and, in a sense, get away with it. It was sophisticated enough in that day. Today, that doesn't cut it. Using an AI response situation like you do gives that personal engagement. The quality of the response is better. You're acknowledging what they put on there. Think about, I hear businesses all the time say they want a phone call. Do you still hear that, Adam, that's the preferred? They'd rather have a phone call than have a form fill often? Do you hear that from your customers, that they just would like the old-fashioned phone call to be all of their leads again?
Absolutely. Everybody wants to physical touch.
Right.
And right away, even I touch my phone, ringing the number, I would like to see the person who gonna fix anything in my house broken right away after I just think about it.
Right.
Maybe this is a future of the Yelp as well. We're gonna talk about it. I'm gonna think, and in a couple of minutes, I'm gonna have food fixed, and anything else, I just want to try to wish.
Right. See, and often I think that's what's forgotten, is really leaning into the customer of today. You asked at the beginning, has it changed over the last few decades? Absolutely. The phone call is not, where most of the leads come from anymore. So on Yelp, our request a quote feature is continuing to be the highest growth area for where leads are coming from. So they're evaluating that quality of that response that you're addressing, which is really key. And often I see questions being asked that are being ignored. And what helps me when we talk to business owners is ask them, are they treating that lead that comes in through request a quote option just like they would if they got that coveted phone call? You know, if somebody calls you on the phone and asks you questions, do you answer it or do you ignore it? You answer it. So those are very important key pieces there that consumers are looking for. They want to know that you'll do that.
So I believe the Yelp anyway does have some of the like ratings of the things inside the Yelp, which is first like a Yelp rating, response time, pictures, how they fill the information, and reviews response.
That's right.
And like maybe these 5-6 categories business owners have to take care of all the time.
Correct. Keeping it up to date.
And absolutely, like you can respond anything, like very quick, but like a human-like, kind way. Because I've seen with home service business owner, they like just to have a couple minutes or maybe even a few seconds to respond, like I will call you back.
Yeah.
And like he responded quickly in 5-10 seconds, but what then?
That's right.
Just for keeping the response time very short. Maybe like the business owner responding in 10 minutes.
Right.
Because for us, for a company who is running home services business, for us is the key thing we have to all the time take care of. Because we're asking our dispatchers who is responsible for the communication with customers all the time, keep this number up to 10 minutes. Right now we have AI, as you mentioned.
Right.
And we have kind of less than 30 seconds all response, and it helps. But not a lot of businesses using these tools for these days. I believe Yelp working on it.
Yes.
My next question about what the keeping between the new business owners who just getting involved to the business and getting success very quickly in like a 30-60 days between the business owners who is starting maybe 1, 2, 3 years, maybe even like 7, 8 years, and then someone just to show up and making great success.
Gotcha. So to clarify, the difference between success and failure on Yelp for businesses early on?
Kinda, yeah, because some of the businesses just to start the business and they like, oh my God, how did you get so many reviews?
Right.
Like, what's going on? How do you successful like that?
Sure.
Because some of the people determining success in the other ways, how they just imagine their own business, how the Yelp itself determine this successful business. Because these businesses all the time on front of the other Yelp pages and the business owners.
So I would say for a new advertiser on Yelp, the first thing is to be committed to the process and have some patience. I would start there. I've seen often where a business may give it 2 or 4 weeks and they're frustrated. We need the algorithm to do its work when you're advertising. And again, I want to back up. I'm assuming you've cared for your profile.
Absolutely, because someone just abandoned the profile.
That's right. Now we're ready. You have the foundation and you're ready to move forward. You've done all the things right and you're ready to invest money and expand your reach, expand your radius, better define the categories that you want to attract leads from. So now you're ready to go. I'm going to assume at that point that you're committed to the process. They have a lead flow process. They're working with someone like yourself where they can win the leads versus get frustrated. I often see the failure comes from not being able to effectively manage the leads, or even worse, you get the leads and you've deemed that they're a bad lead, and then they'll review it with you and they find out it was a good lead. It was how they responded. I could give another perfect example. I had my floors refinished this past summer, and I used request a quote, and I had 3 responses. 2 asked me for my phone number. They probably think it was a bad lead. 1 responded to, I gave them pictures of 975 square feet. 1 room wasn't refinishing. It was a full replacement. They got the job. They were even so amazing. I saw in the reviews that they would even book far enough in advance, which meant to me, if I knew I could count on them to book in advance, I didn't have to go find a hotel for 3 or 4 days. So they saved me money. They made it convenient and easy to do business with. So, and that was a big job. So I wanted to know I had someone that I could trust. Well, they responded. They answered questions when I had my quote. The other two just kept asking me over and over again for the phone number. If I wanted to give you my phone number, I would have picked up the phone and called you.
Yeah.
So, and I also wanted to know details on the average to get a feel of the quote. And I think the audience forgets, you mentioned the Yellow Pages. I was in that industry a long time ago, so I can relate to the consumer was very different then. They needed to be educated. I did a whole 15 seconds of education by asking myself what the average cost per foot should be, what the average labor was, using Gemini, Google Gemini.
Oh, right now is easy.
It's so easy. So I want to remind businesses, assume that when somebody's reaching out to you, that they've spent 15 to 20, 30 seconds to do their homework. They're just looking to verify, can they trust you? Are you in the range? Can they do business potentially with you? And I had a phenomenal experience with that company, both from the room that they installed as well as those that they refinished. So, and they're earning those reviews.
You mentioned about the lead management, about basically how to be a good business owner.
Yes.
For example, if you were starting your own home services business or even any business like a restaurant, maybe, how would you start? Maybe with Yelp, with maybe quality service, or how to generate customers, revenue?
Great question.
In the beginning of the business, for the people who basically just yesterday graduated from high school.
Sure.
Like, I would never work for someone. I would love to do my own business. Here you go. And okay, what should I know?
Right.
Where should I start?
Oh my gosh, there's a lot to unpack there, well beyond Yelp. I mean, if we stick with just Yelp, I would go right back to making sure your profile is complete. You might not even have before and after jobs yet. Right? You might not even have those because you're new.
Yeah.
You're just trying to get in the business. So at the very least, go get a professional photo done. If you have 3 employees, get a professional photo done of the 3 of you. Put that on your profile page and have something to start there. Go above and beyond. Show up early for the job quotes you're getting. Make a point of, if you're the owner, make sure they know you're the owner. Make that customer feel special.
Make a happy face.
Yes, there's things that you can do as a new business owner to earn, great reviews on the Yelp platform and position yourself to be in the realm of consideration going forward and build that trust on the Yelp platform. I think that's key.
There's a many difference between, because I'm originally from Russia, and I've seen a lot of American movies when children, they are staying in the street with table and selling the lemonade like for
25 cents.
25 cents or whatever. And I'm like, why we would do not do the same, educate the children to trying to do the same in our country like before, because it was just another type of the culture.
Sure.
So nobody was taking care about these things when I was young. And when I watch these movies, I'm like, holy smoke. And even in almost every movie, the children was selling the same lemonade everywhere. Because right now my children, they are going to the American schools.
Right.
And they're doing some of the things they are trying to sell after. So my son was trying to print the 3D toys and sell them in the school. I'm like, okay, where will you get money from? Because I sold some of the 3D toys. Kelly, the next question. Some contractors report mixed lead quality. What factors must influence the quality of leads a business receives on Yelp?
So definitely the relevancy. Remember, we're always going to be committed to the consumer search. So whatever the consumer is looking for, we're going to be able to match that with businesses that their content that's in there drew us to them. So yes, you can, when it comes to attracting the right leads, you want to make sure you have the right categories set up. You want to make sure you have the right reach set up. Let's say, I want to make sure I have all the content in the profile page set up. But again, I'll go back to before where they'll say that they'll have bad reviews. Thinking again about the lead response that you have. Are they responding to the right reviews? Are they earning good ratings and good reviews? And if so, are they responding to those in a meaningful way to continue to build that feeling of trust? Those that don't respond, are usually the ones that I'll hear say, oh, I have mixed reviews. Yes, you're not responding to your reviews. There's no really human element of content to make me, the consumer, want to do business with you. So I'll keep going back to the more robust your profile is, the more engaged you are with your profile, making sure you frequently update your profile and make sure you provide good service, great service. You're probably going to get better leads.
I remember one wonderful video I love to say about it, about the Yelp, because some of the business owner was complaining about why these people making me bad reviews.
Yes.
And another owner was saying the Yelp is great, it's absolutely amazing. So what they did, they bring these two business owners in one room and brought
the difference
the customers who wrote actually reviews.
Oh my gosh.
Haven't you seen this video?
I don't think I have.
These people was saying exactly to his face what's going on, what's wrong with his business. I don't remember actually about the positive side, but it was like so amazingly done.
Right.
Maybe it was some of the reportage from some of the medias, but I was like, holy smoke, it's absolutely amazingly showing how the Yelp works. And we talked about it recently with you about how the other platforms trying to catch up with Yelp regarding on the reviews quality as well.
You know, another thing that's interesting about that too is I'll often hear businesses, they'll get a lead, but it might not be the job they want, right? And I think one thing that's really important for businesses to be in tune with is the economy. What's the market like? Like right now, we're in more of a repair versus replace economy. That may mean that you need to pivot a little bit to take on new customers and take some of the repair jobs versus turning them down.
And give more.
You earn that customer long term. You know, think about that, the tankless water heater client that I had. They did such a great job that they've been back to my house since then. They've replaced my air conditioning since then. They did repair my generator. In Buffalo, we had an October storm back in, oh my gosh, the early 2000s, like 2005 or 6, somewhere around then. And I had to get a generator that goes off every Tuesday to make sure it works. It still works today. They did such a great job, repaired it, said, listen, I think we can get a couple more years out of it. It's been a couple years. It's still going.
So they cut you one time.
They got me forever. Lifetime value. And
lifetime value.
When it goes, they're going to be the first person I'll call.
Yeah.
And that came from Yelp.
Even you won't use the Yelp for call the same contractor.
Right.
Because you already engaged with him.
That's right. They created the relationship and it maintained.
Yeah, but when you go something new, like a flooring, as you mentioned, trying to find someone, and you said the Yelp sent messages to the 3 contractors, flooring contractors, and how the Yelp know which contractor should be first, second, third. Is this kind of some of the secret what's going on
There you go,
inside?
the secret sauce.
Secret sauce.
Okay, so that's a great question. So if you're advertising on Yelp, yes, the budget will get you more exposure. You will definitely be more likely to be matched more because you've expanded your reach, you've expanded your categories. That will not guarantee you the job, though.
Yeah.
So you still have to win the job. So again, you still want to remember going back again to that content, making sure that content's there. Again, making sure you're providing great service. So you're earning good reviews, content-rich reviews, and then you're more likely to be considered because the algorithm is going to look at the match. It's going to look at your reach. It's going to look at your ratings. If you have a 1-star review on Yelp, like you gave that example of a business that was doing well and one that wasn't doing well, the one that isn't doing well, that's not a good consumer experience. So it's not likely that they're going to be showing up as often or being considered as often because we don't want to send a 1-star review to someone who's doing a search on Yelp. So those are things sometimes people have to be accountable and say, how can I make my business better so I can get more exposure and earn more job opportunities?
In some of the farthest villages of the United States, maybe in the middle of nowhere, when some of the business owners just have monopoly for some of the business, like a home service business. Like, I have 100 1-star reviews, but they have no choice.
So they have to use you. That's right. That's right.
I'm alone. What's going on?
That's right. That's right.
Can a new business compete with older companies on Yelp?
That's a great question. Here's some things I think really gives new businesses the edge. One is they tend to be hungry. They're excited. This is a new venture for them. They've got a lot of energy. Use it. Use it to your advantage. They're more likely to earn a review if they're showing up on time and, maybe they're not as booked as they'd like to be yet,
Yeah.
but they can do some things early on to earn some really good reviews, get some good exposure. It's likely the owner that's coming to do the job. Customers love that. They love that local feel, knowing, I've got this, basically the CEO, the president of the company taking care of me. They're going to, expect that you have a vested interest versus someone that might be a new employee that may be around for a little while or may not be around for long. So lean into what makes you unique, lean into what makes you different. And yes, you can compete. If you provide good service, you're going to earn reviews and you're going to get more jobs. But again, I got to go back to that lead management. They better have a good lead management way.
Absolutely. I mean, right now,
You'll hear that too.
if you go back in like 30 years back when you're gonna start the home service business, you're like,
Right.
okay, I just spend some money, or maybe, for example, 18 when the Yelp was 3 years old.
Right.
You spend some money on Yelp. You got the leads, you got the jobs, and what else you need?
Right. One thing that I think is common with new businesses, it's a mistake that they won't make with someone like you when they work with one of our agency partners, because to ask them, what is your average job worth? What do you want it to be worth? What types of jobs are you hoping to attract? You can help them determine a budget that they can even afford. Often I see new businesses that they don't have their profile complete. They're trying to throw a lot of money at it, and then it doesn't work and they don't understand why. And that's one of the many reasons why they need you to help them with their playbook and determine what can they afford? What should the radius be? Do they have 2 trucks or 1 truck? If they have 2 trucks, maybe they could make their radius a little bit bigger. If they have 1, they probably need to be a little more specific and limit their reach to, potentially a couple zip codes. That's the strategy that they need from someone like yourself when they're first getting started.
Talking about our business, Fuse Service, and starting from 2017, when I just opened my first Yelp page,
Right.
I even had no idea where this go after 9 years. So in March this year, after like a couple weeks, we're going to celebrate 9 years old of our Fuse Service company.
Congratulations.
And I even had no imagination. I'm going to sit here in front of you of the vice president of the Yelp, and they're going to talk about like what's going on in digital marketing
Right.
industry. And the other side, Yelp helped us to grow like that. But if I'm talking about the competition, about the rivals was there in 2017, but these competitors still kind of on the range. Maybe they got more Yelp reviews, more ratings, more something like that. But our Yelp page is like 1,300 reviews.
That's amazing.
And we're like, what we've done, we basically was doing the same things, just maybe a little bit better than others, because we just hired more professional, more certified technicians. We do a lot of educations to our employees, new trucks, better, bigger office warehouse. So a lot of improvements in the processes of the customer service. And basically, this is how should work any business, and
Right.
not only like a lead generation, lead management process. But on the front of these things, we were investing like most of our advertising budget to the Yelp. But at the same time, why not other contractors do the same? I mean, it's like open question. It's
Right.
like, for me, I like when I've got a lot of rivals, a lot of predators around me. And that means I have to be stronger,
Keep you on your game.
keep you on the game,
Yeah.
on the fight club. All the time I have to be
You
like,
know.
I'm going to try to be like top 1, top 3, top 5, to be like around and to be stronger, because this is kind of nature pushing the old people to survive as well.
Right.
Because if I will be just alone, I'll be like a chicken in Hawaii, right? Sniffing around, nobody gonna hunt me.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, I have my corn and anything around, so I gonna just chill and relax and do my things like to reproduction. That is a thing I like from the Yelp, because the people and the home services, any business owners see the value of the Yelp, investing it,
Right.
pushing like the frame going forward, and I can learn from them, because a lot of contractors actually learn from us as well.
Oh, sure.
Because when I've seen the much better pages in Yelp somewhere else, for example, in New York, I'm like, guys, we have to do the same.
That's smart.
And we're just taking kind of the approach they did on the Yelp page. For example, on the portfolio, we're putting the first picture as a customer value proposition, like $1,000 off for some of the service, like a 12 years warranty, like a best certified technicians, EV charger for free with some of the installation. And it works.
That's great.
Because they don't have to scroll the whole page around to go to the organic search. Results, they just stay on the one thing. I was telling my marketing team, imagine you go to the mall and you want a nice t-shirt or like a jeans or whatever, and you have money for sure. But when you see 50% off big sign, you're gonna be attracted a little bit more than
just at least check it out.
Just like a Louis Vuitton boutique with terrible prices, like $1,000 for the jeans. So it's kind of work.
Right.
This is why we put, instead of the icon of our, just a plain icon of our company, we put their logo with minus 15% off. It's simple.
Yeah.
And
it's working.
It's working. I mean, I don't know. We put that icon with minus 15% off maybe 7 years ago.
Right.
And it's still there. And some of the people just putting, I don't know, dirty tankless water heater. And I'm like, should it work?
Right.
It would not work.
Right.
Because it's appearance, for sure.
Because
I agree. It is like a first impression.
You only get one chance to make one.
Yeah, absolutely. Like you go to the date, like, oh, this guy looks terrible. No, like, bye. I don't want to be with you for 1 hour. Does the Yelp tend to favor local businesses, or they are more likely push preference to the multi-locations companies?
Like a national chain or something like that?
Franchises.
We were built on the foundation of focusing on local business. So I think if I'm a small business owner, that's the first thing that I'd be excited about. And if you're a local business and you're doing a great job and your content is there and you have the right categories, you're probably earning good reviews, content rich, you have a good lead management, yes, you can compete. If you're a franchise, for example, that's also doing a great job, you could compete as well. So it's going to come down to the match, the relevancy of the search, the content, the information that they find. Again, are you responding to reviews? All of that. If you can just check the box and say yes to all of that, you will compete. Now, if you're a local business owner, you may have a little bit of an edge because there may be reviews. Again, going back to that local flair, and that could certainly help you. Again, if you are a national chain, though, that's providing that same quality service, I think one thing that I hear small businesses through the decades that I've been in the industry is they complain they can't compete against national chains that have a team of you in their office,
absolutely.
Right? I think that's the number one complaint. They can't afford to pay for the tools. When you have a national chain that has 200 locations and one team monitoring all of it, that's where you come into play. That's where your strategy matters. That's where you help them make sure that, they're in a position to win the leads. So if they provide good services and they work with someone like you, they're in a great spot being on the Yelp platform that really is all about consumers being connected with local businesses.
So you're already 30 years in the digital marketing industry. And back in the days in starting of the Yelp itself, in 22 years ago, what there was difference between the business owners on the Yelp nowadays and 20 years ago? They have to pay more, they have to take care of the businesses more. I mean, I'm just trying to answer these questions myself too.
Sure.
I believe they have to be more educated.
Yes. So even going back to the example of, you could go back to the personal example where, I was able to use AI to do quick research to have information. You go back, 20, 30 years ago.
Because I went these days, 20 years ago, to the library.
Yeah.
To search the information.
That's right.
I didn't have even the internet access.
That's right. We are, especially with AI, we're an even less patient society. So I think that the big change is, it's not just about the speed to responding to leads that come to you. It's the quality of the response, of the information that you provide, your ability to effectively communicate and stay engaged. It's start to finish, the experience start to finish. And it's an unforgiving society.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
unfortunately for someone.
No, yeah, I mean, the bar has been raised. The best
Yeah.
of the best are definitely rewarded for their great work.
Because I know a lot of business owners who are not advertising on Yelp and they are using only a referral system. I'm using the concrete contractor. He does have the Yelp page, but he
Sure.
doesn't really care about his page. When I left the 5-star review for him, he was sent me the message.
Well, you can't leave a review for him.
Absolutely. Thank you. And the other guys just like, we don't need it. I'm just working like a one-man shop.
Right.
But sometimes, like, they're asking me, do you have jobs?
Right.
Do you have something to do?
Well, and I guess that's the question. If I'm someone who I'm a one-man show and it's working for me and I'm making the income that I need, great. I mean, that's wonderful. I don't know long-term, what their plan is. I think it really comes down to their business goals. But if they want to maintain the business flow that they have, they may need to pivot, because I don't know that I would count on always having that business flow, recognizing that the referral business is very different today than it was even
they
2
will
years ago.
even they have to go to the check. The customers have to go, and even by having this referral, they have to go and check this guy anyway.
Right. That's right.
What's going on? Who is this Adam?
That's right.
Like, who is Adam Fusman? Let me check it out.
Of course.
Like, okay, he's licensed. Okay, he does have reviews. Okay, but 1,000 reviews, but maybe 10 one-star reviews too. And they're
That's
very focused on these 10 one-star reviews out of the 1,000. Backing up for the question about the future of the Yelp, what should we be scared of more of the Yelp technologies in the future? Like AI, it's everywhere already.
Yes.
Robots coming up.
Yes.
Robot taxis like a Waymo, Tesla, I don't know, Zoox, anything else, like a lot of stuff going on. And it's like making a lot of pressure for the users.
Right.
Of any platform. I went to the Yelp 1 month ago, and I went 1 day ago. It's already almost different platform. It's already I have no request quote. It's already somebody typing me the messages and asking me a lot of questions. I'm
Right.
What's going on? Give me the human.
Right. Well, this is probably my favorite question so far. At the beginning, your first question was, how are you feeling? And I responded by saying, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm not scared. I'm not afraid. I'm leaning in, and the glass isn't half full. I think it's overflowing. Here's why. There's two things that are going on that I'm really excited about with Yelp. First, we could talk about the actual platform and the experience that you're seeing today. I could say the current state that you're seeing now, as well as where we're going. Okay,
Yeah.
so the first is, before I came here, I said, you know what, I'm going to do a search. I guess I have tankless water heaters on my mind. So I did a search, and I was on Google, and I said, okay, who are the best tankless water heater, service providers in the area? AI brought up 10 options from Yelp and took me immediately to the Yelp platform.
Yeah.
How great do I feel about that? And what I love about this is, we talk about profiles being the foundation of success, right? And the content. We have almost 22 years of content
Yeah.
that ChatGPT, Google Gemini, Perplexity, they think we're valuable too.
They're feeding
Yes.
from the Yelp by the data.
Yes,
right?
they want the
content.
human content. They want the updated content. We have updates going on all the time. Millions upon millions of reviews providing and verifying and building that trust of experience. So how amazing and how convenient it is for me now. Put something like that in, and automatically it takes me to those options. And then before you know it, I'm back on the Yelp platform. And then what happened when I did that experience in today's current state? It immediately popped up Yelp's assistant and started asking me about what services I needed. So it was going to walk me through very quickly and help define and connect me with the right person who could solve my problem. So both on the platform and off the platform, Yelp is winning. And I think that's just beyond exciting. Yes. So that's probably what I'm most excited about in the current state. Future state, I love seeing that Yelp is continuing to make investments to continue to enhance and speed up that connection, creating a better experience for the consumer, to make sure they're getting the right type of business solution that they need to solve the problem they want. And what I love about that is you're going to see someone like yourself having even more tools in your toolbox to better guide support and make sure the businesses that you represent are successful on Yelp. And what I love about that is the consumer wins, the business owner wins, you win, and Yelp wins. I can't think of a better outcome than that.
And will the speed and the quality of the communication will be
It'll
the
continue to improve.
same value in the future, you think? Or it's just gonna be like, for example, I'm gonna talk with my wife. What's going on with our toilet? It's not flashing. And my phone like listening.
Right.
And your team is already on the way.
We really are. I mean, even think about like a few years ago when you searched on Yelp, you might have put in plumber, Santa Clara.
Yeah.
Today, I could put in specifically what type of plumbing service I want.
Yeah.
It has the natural language.
You can just create more detail what you exactly want. You even send a picture. And I believe the Yelp will recognize what's going on. Like the toilet is just like flushing the water around some.
Yeah. I'd expect us to really become that start to finish full service, platform experience, from giving you the information that I need all the way through to the transaction. Another thing that's, it's not new, but just a personal experience. I was in a French restaurant. They did not have anything on the menu in English. So I immediately went to my Yelp app and took a picture, put the camera up on the menu, and it started immediately taking me to pictures of the items on the menu and took me to reviews. So
it's matching the pictures.
It matched it, yeah.
Like
so
because you have no idea what exactly it means.
That's right.
Like a foie gras.
That's right. Otherwise, I was limited to fromage. Well, that's on everything. I didn't know what I was ordering. So Yelp helped me make that solution. Now, for any restaurant, that's great, and it's a wonderful experience because you can see the pictures. It brings it to life, and you're even being guided on what to order in a restaurant. But for me, it went a step further because the menu wasn't even in English. So I needed help.
Maybe it is English, but the words you're seeing first time in your life. Yeah. All right.
So,
Kelly, thank you very much
for
being with me, for being our best partner for 4PMix, for the Fuse service, for many of our franchisees as well. So what you gonna say, your words to keep up with Yelp, with marketing, with digital marketing for the home service business owners?
I would say, definitely work with someone like yourself would be the first thing I would say, because I know you'll help them establish the right playbook. And it's something too often, and I should have mentioned this before with Yelp, you need different playbooks. So if you are, for example, plumber or a roofer, or you focus on home additions, those are all high cost jobs.
Yep.
You're going to have a different playbook because it may only take you one job to justify investing on Yelp for the next 3 months. If I'm a pest control service, I may benefit from the urgency of it, right? So that's still a different playbook experience, and it's still very effective on Yelp. What if I'm a house cleaner or lawnmower or, lawn maintenance or a pool service provider? That might be a lower cost. So now I can be successful on Yelp, but I need you to help me with the playbook to define what is my focus, my radius, my categories, the content to attract the jobs that I can handle, and you'll help them be more efficient. So that would be my big thing. Yelp is moving in the right direction. Working with someone like yourself will help them take it to the next level.
I'd like to add, as well as you mentioned, all the time for the home service business owners, rise the bar.
Rise up, absolutely.
Because if you are not doing it, tomorrow
that's right.